Hello everyone, this is Pastor Frank DeMore with the End Times Research Ministry. Thanks for coming to my YouTube channel. Today is January the 28th. The month is flying, 2019. And today I want to talk about several different things. I'm going to be making a couple of videos, but it's important news. And if you are already a Christian and you have been following like we're supposed to be doing, keeping on the watch for these last days events, please bear with me because the news that I'm going to be giving has to do with some wars that were prophesied, and we can see these wars coming without a doubt as we're watching the developments take place in the Middle East between Israel, Russia, Turkey, Iran, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan. I mean, it's a host of different nations that are mentioned in the news, and we see what's happening, what's coming. So I want to cover that today. Now, if you just discovered my YouTube channel, please go over to my website, End Times Research Ministry. You can always go over to BibleProphecyMan.com or DeMoraMinistry.com, and you'll get to these sites where you can get my book for free, The Last Chronicles of Planet Earth, which I'm going to be updating again as of I'm going to make it the 27th of 2019 to keep this as current as possible with the breaking news that are taking place. And you'll get more information in this book than you'll buy in the store anywhere because it's up to date and it gives you a timeline of where we were, what's happening along these years, and where we are right now. So please take advantage of it. When you go to my website, just scroll down, you'll see the book and the link right here. Just click that link, and as I said, it's going to be updated as January 27th as soon as I make this video. So to begin with, I'm going to throw up some scriptures here, and what you're looking at is the chapter 11 in my book, The Invasion of Israel. This talks about a war that is going to be happening, I believe, fairly soon. And it'll give you the names of the nations that will be coming down against Israel. Now, I'm going to leave this up. You could stop your video and read all of these scriptures. But I'm just going to, for the purpose of making this a little bit shorter, take a look at one of the names, Persia. And Persia is the Old Testament name for modern-day Iran. Iran is going to be playing a significant role in a major assault against the nation of Israel with all of the Islamic nations that do not border Israel. And the ones that do not border Israel are Turkey, Put, Cush, and those are Old Testament names for like Libya and Ethiopia, and of course, like I just said, Iran. But there's a whole host of other nations. But I just wanted to mention Persia or Iran here because Iran is making moves right now in the borders of Israel. And that is going to present a major problem, and I believe another war, and that would be the Psalm 83 war. Now, in Psalm 83, it's a lot different from the Ezekiel war that I'm talking about here. You can see a picture of the nations that will be coming down against Israel during the Ezekiel chapter 38 war, if you will. And you'll see Turkey, Iran, Iraq, and Persia, which is Iran, Afghanistan, Ethiopia, and you'll see on the right-hand side the Old Testament names, Tunisia, Morocco, and of course, when you move all the way down, you'll see that Russia is also going to be involved in that war. Russia has got allies, for example, Turkey and Iran. I mean, they're all coming together just like they're supposed to, and we're going to see these wars. But now let me move to the Psalm 83 war because this is going to be a very significant war, and I believe that Iran is going to be playing a major part in that war as well. Now, the photo that you're looking at right here, this will give you the nations of the Psalm 83 war. And you'll see that it's Edom, and when you take a look at the right-hand side, you'll see the modern-day names. Southern, the Jordanian, the Saudi Arabians, the Palestinians, the Egyptians, Hezbollah, and the Lebanese, the Palestinians, obviously, and the Arabs in the Sinai, the Hamas in the Gaza Strip, which you see quite a bit in the news, Hezbollah, which you're seeing even more so in the news, and they're, of course, located right now in South Lebanon, or as you see in the photo, Lebanese. And then, of course, Syria, which is a major problem right now that Israel is dealing with. So those are the nations that are going to be coming together as a confederacy against Israel. And who's pushing all this? Iran. And that's the significance that I wanted to mention to you, because Iran is going to be involved in the Ezekiel 38 war. I believe that as Iran pushes and influences all of these groups to go to war against Israel, that will be their significance. I don't believe that the major force of the Iranians will be involved in the Psalm 83 war, but they will be involved in the Ezekiel war, because Ezekiel shows us that they will be involved. Now, Ezekiel shows us, when you read chapter 38 and 39, that the invading armies that come against Israel in that war, they're going to be toasted. They're going to be defeated. They're going to be killed off. And in that war, when you read those chapters, you'll see that God is going to intervene. He's actually going to fight those invading nations who come against Israel. Now, the Psalm 83 war, we see that Israel obviously is going to have to fight this war. They are going to win this war. And a lot of people may say there's no way that if all these people come against Israel, that Israel would actually win this war. Well, let me say this. Ezekiel shows us that Israel is still around when that war takes place. And not only that, he gives us the information as to there's no walls, there's no bars, and there's no gates in Israel. And they're living in security when that war happens. And obviously, they're not doing that right now in Israel as of January the 28th of 2019. And we see the handwriting on the wall that the Psalm 83 war is coming. Now, Israel may take a hit, but they're not going to be annihilated like they're calling for right now. And even in the prophecy, it says they will call for the destruction of the nation of Israel. Those prophecies were given many, many years ago. And we see it in the news today. In the only generation has witnessed the rebirth of the nation Israel, which is very significant in Bible prophecy. And Jesus shows us, and if you want to read Matthew chapter 24, he talks about the fig trees, the Israel being born again as a nation. And obviously, if you're alive now, you know that Israel is there in the Middle East. They've been born again since May 14, 1948. So now that you know what the prophecies have to say, take a look again at the article that just came out, January the 26th of 2019, World War III, Resistance Axis of Iran, Syria, and Hezbollah planning for war with Israel. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to see the connection between what God told us is going to happen and the alliances being made in the Middle East against Israel right now. Below the headline, it says, Hezbollah has warned that it could team up with Iran and Syria to bomb Israel and is already planning for the next war. The Lebanese group's leaders has said, ramping up tensions in the region still further. So you have Syria, you have the Hezbollah, you got the Lebanese, you got Iran, and everybody knows that the Palestinians have been warring against Israel for years without any peace plan. The article continues. Syed Hassan Nasrallah said Hezbollah made its comments as he responded for the first time to Israel's discovery of tunnels dug into Israeli territory from Lebanon by claiming his organization has for years been able to enter Israel. Israel's unveiling of what it called Hezbollah attack tunnels last month, and Lebanon's accusation that an Israeli border barrier crosses into its territory have increased tensions. Israel regards Iran as the biggest foe and Hezbollah as the main threat on its borders. It has waged an increasingly open campaign of military strikes against them both in Syria, where they are fighting on the government side in the civil war. Now, if you haven't been following the news, Israel is making strikes, airstrikes, into Syria, and they've bombed parts of Damascus where the Iranians have brought in arms and missiles and it is stored in them there. And I haven't even mentioned the prophecy of Isaiah in chapter 17 and Jeremiah chapter 49, where it talks about Syria being completely decimated. But that's the road that we're currently watching, because it is going to happen. The nations mentioned in the prophecies are not a coincidence. It was a forewarning of things that were going to happen before they actually took place. And when you see these things take place, I'm hoping that you will remember what you heard here and associate it not with Pastor Frank DeMora, but what God has revealed to us in His Word, the Bible, in preparation to get anybody who was willing to listening to His words and His warnings, to get them ready for the second coming of the Messiah, the true Messiah, Jesus Christ. Mr. Nasrallah said Hezbollah did not want to draw Lebanon into a war with Israel. However, he said there was a fear that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu might miscalculate before the Israeli elections in April and do something rash. In other words, he might fully attack them by April. He warned that the resistance axis, as the group refers to itself, Iran and Syria, might change their reaction to Israeli strikes in Syria, including with a bombardment of Tel Aviv. Both Israel and Hezbollah have already indicated that any new war between them would be greater in scope than the last one, fought in 2016 in Lebanese territory. So the prelude to the major war in Somme, we saw the prelude of that in 2006. Now, before it's all over, every one of those nations, however they're drawn in, will be attacking Israel all at the same time. The prophecy will be fulfilled. And hopefully, when you see that taking place, unfortunately, nobody wants to see war, but it's going to happen because of hatred of the Jewish nations by the Islamic leaders in those countries mentioned in those prophecies. You know, yesterday in the Times of Israel, which came out January 27th, 2019, you'll see that the Palestinians were in the news again. Almost every other day they're involved in the news, as they want to, as I already pointed out, to destroy the nation of Israel. And Abbas's philosophy is to keep attacking, keep attacking. Here's the headline: Palestinian arrested after breaching Gaza border fence. A man found in the possession of a knife and wire cutters after crossing from the north of the enclave, IDF says. The IDF stands for Israeli Defense Force. And there's a good picture of the wall, if you will, and keep in mind that wall is going to disappear by the time the Ezekiel War takes place. But as I showed you before, it's already standing. It's there now. Something has to happen for the Jews to feel comfortable enough, safe enough to take the walls down, to take the gates and the fences down. Definitely. They're not there yet. But when the major war takes place, I believe the Psalm 83 war takes place, and Israel defeats the enemy, and they incorporate even more land that they presently have now, I believe that that would be a good possibility when the walls, the bars, and the gates will all come down. But tensions are definitely building up in the Middle East, and the Lord wanted us to keep on the watch for these events to take place. And if you love Jesus, you'll be on the watch. I'm hoping that my ministry will help you to understand what the Lord has revealed to us and tug your heart to want to know more about the Lord's revealing what's going to happen in the last days, so that you can build a relationship, a personal relationship with the Messiah, Jesus Christ, and get yourself and your family and your friends ready for the second coming of the Lord Jesus Christ, because the news that we're seeing points to the road of that second coming of the Lord Jesus Christ. And those who refuse to believe that Jesus is ever going to come back, they're going to find out that they were very, very wrong. Please leave your comments at my YouTube channel. Take advantage of my free book, The Last Chronicles of Planet Earth. And if you do leave comments, anybody who used foul language, I'm just going to delete their comments just to be forewarned. This is Pastor DeMora. Thank you for coming to my YouTube channel. God bless.